Broadcasting on 87.8 FM and streaming online.
You're listening to Drive with Darren McAlay in Newcastle.
My name is Richard and I'm sitting in a park. It is in the daytime, so it is not dark. There are lots of birds here.
This is Darren McAlay and you're listening to Drive on Newey, 87.8 FM. We are broadcasting across Newcastle and the Central Coast, and we are streaming online around the world on newey.com.au. Now, I am very, very excited to introduce today's guest. Richard has appeared on Britain's Got Talent, and he has been branded as a social media sensation. And after his classic songs on the recorder, they've gone absolutely viral on YouTube and TikTok. He's famous for songs like Richard Sitting in the Corner, Flute on the Roof, and Sitting on a Rock.
I'm playing my flute on the roof. Yeah, that's where I'm playing my flute. Playing my flute on the roof. Yeah.
He's got a very, very incredibly busy schedule, but he has made the time to talk to us here on Drive, Newey 87.8 FM in Newcastle. Hi, Richard.
Hello, how are you? Yeah.
Thanks for joining us. Now, first of all, congratulations on your success.
Thank you. Thank you.
So
it was a surprise.
Oh, it's absolutely fantastic. Where did your interest in the recorder come from?
I started playing the recorder when I was about 6 years old, and I don't think it was particularly my interest. It's just I was a bit of a disruptive kid. So my mum wanted to get something that would keep me quiet or keep me busy. Maybe not quiet, maybe be the wrong thing for quiet, but to keep me busy.
Fantastic. And do you play any other instruments?
I play the flute. So I first started playing the recorder, then a couple of years later started playing flute as well, which I include on some of my songs. I play keyboard a bit.
When is Richard going to blink? When is Richard going to blink? When is Richard going to blink?
I first discovered you on TikTok, and I guess what motivated you to go onto social media and reach out to an audience like that?
For a long time, I've been a stand-up comedian. So I've done stand-up comedy. A lot of the time during my stand-up comedy career, I didn't use music at all.
I put up a picture of me when I was a kid.
But when I started using music about 5 years ago, I also wanted to practice and do more things with it. So it was just another place to put stuff, really. I didn't really have much expectation of people to see it. And for many, many years, no one did. And those who didn't care. Then all of a sudden they did.
Oh, that's incredible. And what song has been your most successful once you started, and why do you think it works so well?
So the song which I put out in May 2023 was called Recorder in the Corner, which people call it Sitting in the Corner or Richard in the Corner. I should have called it that maybe.
My name is Richard and I'm sitting in the corner. Sitting in the corner, playing my recorder.
Yeah, it was called Recorder in the Corner, which is something I just recorded on a whim one day.
Yeah,
I had an idea. A recorder rhymes with corner and that. So I sat in the corner and put it all together in about 6 minutes and chucked it out there with no expectation. But yeah, people happen to like that one. Why they like that one? That's been interesting kind of thing for me to try to discover why they like that one.
Yeah.
And I have concluded that it's got a nice simple melody that's repeatable. It's easy for people to play. So a lot of people pick up their recorder and give it a go. A lot of music teachers are teaching it as the song for the kids to play.
Crunchy water, does Richard like other things? Yeah, kinda sorta, but nothing else is quite as good as that, I am assurer. Crunchy water, crunchy water.
I think also it calms people down. It's quite repetitive, calming. I have a lot of parents, particularly of autistic children, saying that they use it as like a stim, as something to calm themselves down, a nice repetitive thing which cheers them, actually helps them.
Yeah, that is incredible. And I do know that that love of rhyming and things like that, I think people can use it in schools and things like that with poetry and getting used to things like that as well, which is fantastic. Okay. Now, you appeared on Britain's Got Talent. What was that experience like for you?
It was a nice experience. I mean, one thing that wasn't so nice about it is I had a terrible throat infection at the time, and I could hardly talk, and I was feeling terrible.
Yeah.
But apart from that, it was nice. You know, I've performed in front of big audiences before with my stand-up, so it was quite comfortable. It was nice being on such a nice big stage.
Yeah.
It was surprising though, because if you have a social media following, it kind of
Yeah.
doesn't feel real. But when you walk out in front of an audience in Manchester in the UK and they all know who you are,
Wow.
I didn't expect that. I didn't expect like 2,000 people in Manchester for so many of them to know who I am.
Yeah.
And so they started like chanting my name when I walked out. So I thought, okay, this is a whole different thing. This is interesting.
That is incredible.
Yeah.
The fact that you were known before you got there is amazing, and that's great for the confidence when you're performing on stage too.
The judges didn't know me, but yeah, the audience.
They
I think the
certainly
audience.
did by the,
Yeah,
they
they did.
certainly did by the end anyway.
Yeah.
You're with Darren McAlane on Newey, 87.8 FM Newcastle. I'm speaking with Richard. He's a comical musician and recorder playing sensation from YouTube and TikTok. Now, when people stop you in the street and give you credits for your great comedy and music style, what type of positive feedback do they give you? What do they say?
They often tie my music in with an experience that they have with friends, because a lot of my audiences are people who are children 8 to 10 or teenagers, and they're going through their formative years, and they talk about an experience when they first heard my song and all their friends started singing it together and it became a kind of thing at their school, which is really
Became
cute.
very catchy.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Adults often say that they thank me, I think, like I said before, that my music is something that just calms them down a lot.
Yeah.
And it's really good after a stressful day to listen to my stuff, which is lovely. I didn't intend that, but it's a nice side effect of it.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, my own experience is when I was scrolling through TikTok, it just came up on my feed and I immediately clicked on your channel so I could see a few more because I didn't want to go to any of the other videos at the time. So that was my experience. So I thought it was quite funny, and it's just something different. And I found it was like a form of escapism too,
Okay.
after a busy day. And so sometimes at the end of your clips, there's like a little melody or a signature that you play at the end of each verse.
It's everything in my songs is just stuff that I wrote. Yeah. There's probably no profound answer to this. It's just something I made up. I guess,
Right.
I just muck around with a recorder I have forever.
Yeah.
And I come up with little things and I go, oh, that sounds cute. That sounds nice.
Yeah, okay, because it sort of like repeats itself and becomes quite catchy as well. So no, that's fantastic. I'm really impressed. Now, I learnt the recorder in primary school like 40 years ago, and you couldn't get any better than our very own Mrs. McGregor with the way she taught recorder. And I'm surprised Hot Cross Buns didn't go viral back then, but I was just wondering, I was just digging around, and you wouldn't believe this, but I actually found my recorder from primary school. I was just wondering if you'd be able to accompany me with Hot Cross Buns. I might need a bit of a refresher.
I actually had to look up this song because it wasn't one I'm familiar with.
Yeah, right. Okay.
Yeah. Strangely, I guess everybody says that they learned Hot Cross Buns, but I didn't learn the recorder in school. I had private lessons. My school didn't have recorder, so we did other things.
Yeah, and I think different schools, they've gone with chime bars. Sometimes they go with all these different instruments. So it just depends on the school. Yeah.
Okay.
Wow, fantastic.
Something like that.
Accompanied the famous Richard. There we go. The Richard from TikTok. That's incredible. You can also, just to let our listeners know, you can stay up to date with the latest from Richard. You can join his mailing list and listen to some of the songs that he's streaming there. You can also purchase some of his merchandise. You can visit the website Richard Lindsay. Is that correct?
That's correct. Probably the easiest way to get to it, though, is go to richardrecorder.com.
richardrecorder.com, and that way we can have a look at some of your merchandise and things like that you've got on the website there.
Yeah, correct. Just my last name is spelled a bit unusual, so it's a bit hard to guess how to spell it.
Fantastic. No, that's great. I probably should have checked that before, but that's wonderful. Terrific. Now, you've certainly been kicking some goals with your creativity. What projects do you have in the pipeline? What's actually coming up next?
I'm working on quite a few songs at once. I've gone in a bit of a songwriting mode. I'm working on a dance club mix of Recorder in the Corner, which is a lot of fun.
That would be fantastic.
And also, I had a song called The Legend of Steve, and Steve is my flute, which I made a character for. And I'm working on the sequel to The Legend of Steve.
Oh, wow. That is fantastic. And certainly It'll go viral on TikTok, I'm sure, but there'll be schools around the country, around Australia and around the world that will just be inspired by what you do there, which is fantastic. And I'll just let our listeners know, Richard Lindsay is performing live on stage in Newcastle on Saturday, September 21. You can catch him at the Exchange at 34 Bolton Street, Newcastle from 7:30 p.m. Grab your tickets through the website, richardlindsay.com. Richard, it's been an absolute honour to have you on Drive here in Newcastle, and we certainly look forward to seeing where your next song will take you. Thank you so much for your time today. I really do appreciate it.
Thank you.
Fantastic. Richard Lindsay, he's an amazing success story who has taken the world by storm on YouTube and TikTok and all the socials with his recorder, music and comedy. And it's been lots of fun today to talk to him. This is Darren McAlane broadcasting across Newcastle and the Central Coast on Newey 87.8 FM, Newcastle.
You're listening to Darren McAlane.
That was awesome.
Nice. That's fun. Yeah.
Playing my flute on the roof, yeah, that's where I'm playing my flute. Playing my flute on the roof, yeah.